All right, today we're coming to you with another episode of Self-Care Prescriptions, and I'm with Dr. Robin Gobin, and she's as always looking beautiful and giving us some insight on self-care and how we can better take care of ourselves. And today, Doc, I got some questions about me. So help me out. So, I'm reading the calendar. We end the year with Christmas, then we hit New Year's, then we hit MLK Day, President's Day, and in the middle of all that, we got Valentine's Day, right? But all these other holidays is about other people. It's about Christmas, giving gifts, New Year, MLK, celebrate, Martin Luther King, what he done for us, President Day, celebrate past and previous presidents, so on and so forth. We kind of get lost in ourselves. So, I fall victim of, I'm celebrating all these other historical events from President's Day to MLK Day, Christmas I'm giving gifts, Valentine's Day, I'm supporting my significant other, but not myself. So, or maybe I'm the only one who fall victim of taking care of others and not taking care of myself. So I'm asking if you can hit me, or maybe we got some followers that got the same issue, but hit us with some info on how we can actually, take care of ourselves versus always taking care of others.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this today because I think you're not alone. A lot of people struggle with this idea of, how do I love on myself? Like, I'm good with taking care of other people. I'm good with loving them, showing them appreciation for all of their strengths, the things I love about them. But when it comes to myself, it's hard for me to show myself that same level of compassion, that same level of love. And I think this just comes from the fact that we have an inner critic that lives inside of all of us. I think to a certain extent, our culture, our society kind of always is trying to tell us how we're falling short. That there's always this message, whether it's through media, commercials, social media, always trying to sell us something and tell us how we're falling short. And what that does in the long term is it can actually reduce or erode our self-confidence, our level of self-love of ourselves, where we end up saying, well, there's nothing good about me, there's nothing to celebrate. So then when Valentine's Day rolls around, you're like, well, I really don't know how I feel about myself. So I'm more comfortable, loving on other people and showing them appreciation and affection because I'm not as comfortable with myself. And I think we have to definitely get better about that again, because it can really in the long term stop us from reaching our full potential. And just more importantly, it can lead to us leading our lives in a way that's just very unfulfilling and unsatisfying because we're not loving ourselves, we're not taking care of ourselves. So I want to offer 3 tips today on how to show yourself some love. So I recently saw this quote on social media that says, self-love is the new relationship goal. So I want to talk about that. Like, how do you cultivate this love for yourself?
Okay.
And so the first thing that I think is really important to do when you're trying to cultivate love for yourself and show yourself more love is give yourself positive words. Like, talk nicely to yourself, in other words. And I mean this in 2 ways. First of all, what tone do you use with yourself? And I don't mean just like when things are going well, but also when things are not going so well, like when you made a promise to yourself that you didn't keep, or when you fall short of your expectations, when you make a mistake. How do you relate to yourself? What tone of voice do you use? So that's the first part. How do you talk to yourself? Is it very harsh? Is it very critical? Is it very mean? And if so, can you soften that? Okay. And then the second piece to that one about how you talk to yourself is the content. What do you say? What are the words that you use? Again, when you are maybe upset with yourself, when you feel like something is falling short in your life, when you look how far you've come and you realize that I'm not where I thought I would be by this age or by 2020, how do you relate to yourself? How do you talk to yourself? So the first tip is really to be kinder to yourself with your words. And one way that you can do this is simply to start speaking words of affirmation over yourself. Like, what do you really wish for yourself at the deepest level? I think all of us wish for ourselves to be happy. We wish for ourselves to be healthy. We wish for ourselves to be successful on our own terms, to develop our own definition of success and what that means, and to have the courage to go after that. So start speaking those words over yourself and very importantly, when you are feeling down on yourself, when you're feeling disappointed with yourself, watch how you talk to yourself. And I think a piece that you can use to kind of tune into whether you're being critical or harsh or not is to say, like, if you're talking to yourself in a certain way, would you say that to your mother? Would you say that to your niece, your sister, your daughter? Any important woman or girl in your life, would you talk to that person that way?
Okay.
And if you would not talk to them that way, then why are you talking to yourself that way? And if they wouldn't deserve to be talked to that way, why do you deserve to be talked to that way? So
okay.
That's really important.
So if mama don't deserve it, I don't deserve it.
If mama don't deserve it, you don't deserve it, yes.
All right.
Yes, so that's the first tip. Talking to yourself, nice tone and nice words, right?
Okay.
Because we can't, another quote I've seen a lot is you can't, verbally beat yourself into being a version of yourself that you'll love. Like you can't hate yourself into someone that you'll love. Like regardless of what change it is that you want to make, you always want to start from a place of loving yourself into becoming the better version of yourself that you hope to become, not hating yourself into that better version. So that's my first tip. Second tip is spending time getting to know yourself. So you can't really fully truly love someone that you don't know very well. And a lot of times we are so focused externally. We're focused on doing work, we're focused on the kids, we're focused on taking care of the house, our hobbies, everything else but ourselves. And so the second tip is really spending time getting to know yourself. Do you really know yourself? And you can just start very simple here. Like, what do you like? What things do you not like? And really owning that, not being ashamed of it, not thinking that you have to like modify what you like or don't like based on what other people think, but really kind of getting tuned in. Because I think a lot of times we get all this external noise and feedback from everybody else telling them our opinions, and they're kind of subtly telling us how we should feel, and that can drown out our true authentic beliefs about things that we care about. Like if it's politics, if it's religion, if it's just a TV show that you do or don't like, just being honest with like, what are my likes? What are the things that I like, the foods that I like, and what are the things that I don't like? And then another question that you can start with too is like, what's really important to me? Like at the end of the day, what do I value the most? What's important to me? And those are just like 3 questions that can get you on the road to really learning who you are, because the more you know who you are and know yourself, you can kind of step into your power and really own that this is who I am, and you can be unapologetic about this is who you are, and actually start to develop a softer, kinder relationship with this person who you are, because the best relationship you'll ever work on is the relationship with yourself.
Got it. So get to know yourself. So spend some time getting to know yourself. And I got one that just hit me. Spend time to know myself. Know when I want to go to sleep. Know when I want to wake up. Get my sleeping habits for me. Don't let the world tell me what my sleeping habits should be. Why I should stay up this late. If I want to go to sleep early, that's me. I know myself.
Yeah. No, I think that's important, because a lot of times people do talk to you about going to bed early. You are early. You turn in early at night, and that's right. Like owning that's who you are. You get up early and you go to sleep early so that you can get up and start your day early, and not letting other people kind of make you feel bad about that, or not hiding it from other people. Sometimes when we think people won't agree with us or they'll make fun of us, we try to hide parts of ourselves and we become small, and that does not do anything but make us feel worse about ourselves, even though we might not see it initially. Over time, if we continue to hide parts of ourselves, we're giving ourselves the silent message that we are somehow unacceptable, and that's just not healthy for us in the long term. So definitely embracing who you are, getting to know yourself, and then really embracing that this is who I am. And I will say that, of course, like we all have areas of growth. Of course, we all have like traits, characteristics that maybe work against us in some ways that are not the healthiest things that we should be doing. So I'm not saying just like, keep going with that and just don't care about changing that. But what I'm saying is knowing yourself, and from a place of just like awareness about who I am, what gets me to tick, what are my growth edges, then you can start to think about making changes if change is necessary. Sometimes we assume that we need to change things about ourselves because it makes other people uncomfortable. But if we're fine with it and it's not hurting anyone and it's healthy, then we might want to reconsider, do I really need to change that?
Got it.
So second thing, get to know yourself. And then when you do know yourself, own those things that you learn about yourself unapologetically. And then my third tip is to love on yourself. So we talked about it's February, Valentine's Day, it's Black History Month. We have a lot of pride this month about what we've been able to accomplish as a race of African American people. And I feel like it's so important that when we're thinking about how to cultivate self-love, that we spend some time loving on ourselves. And so recently we just did something related to this that was just a very small thing. We did face masks. So, you can get little face masks from all over, like the grocery store. You can get them from Bath and Body Works, Target, Walmart, wherever you choose. And we just did a small face mask, and it's just a way of loving on your body, taking care of your body. So this requires, as I've talked about before, tuning into what does your body need. Maybe you need a nice foot massage at the end of the day. Buy yourself a nice cream and massage your feet, because they've done so much for you throughout the day and throughout your life, helping you to navigate this world. But it can be just very small things, like even reading your favorite book. A lot of us have gotten away from reading for pleasure. We just read because of necessity for work. But what about reading something that you enjoy for pleasure? Watching your favorite TV show, cooking a meal that you enjoy, taking yourself on a day date. I recently did that. I took myself to the movies, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it, and it was something that I just wanted to watch. So how can you really love on yourself and just show yourself some appreciation? Because yes, it's important to kind of get to know yourself and in your head, appreciate yourself and give yourself words of affirmation. But then we have to eventually translate that into action. And so what does loving on yourself look like for you? So that's the third tip, is show yourself some love, whatever that looks like for you, whatever is going to make you feel happy, give you those warm and fuzzy feelings, but more so really nurture you on a deeper level.
Got it. So those are 3 actually good tips, some tips that I'm gonna actually apply and try to do more frequently. We all talk hey man, I'm gonna do this, and you start and then you stop, but good points and good simple points that you can do all the time. What I mean? It's not just for February, not just for Valentine's Day, but I think year round. But I think this is so important for us to be talking about now, because for better or for worse, it's this time of the year where everybody's talking about love. You see it all over the grocery store, the roses, the teddy bears, the candy. And sometimes if we're maybe not in a relationship or not in the best place in some of our family relationships, we start to feel down on ourselves. But just to remember that while you are working on cultivating those other relationships or showing other people love during this time of the year, it's also important that you take time to show yourself some love, because you deserve it. Cool. So those are some good 3 tips. You got anything else you want to leave us with before we get out of here? No, just I would love to hear how you all are loving on yourself. What are the action steps that you are taking to show yourself some love, particularly this Valentine's Day? Got it. So you got any ones of these 3 that you working on that you gonna actually do? Because you got to practice what you preach now. I do have to practice what I preach, yes. And so the thing that I'm really working on is the first tip that I said, the words, how I'm talking to myself, particularly when I kind of stop and look at my goals and the things I want to accomplish. Am I pursuing those things from a place of love, from a place of acceptance, and not from this place of really trying to be really harsh and really critical and really mean with myself. So that's what I'm working on, is giving myself those words of affirmation and really loving on myself verbally. Got it. Well, we appreciate your honesty. We appreciate all the tips, and we hope that this does help someone. And until next time, we appreciate you, Dr. Robin, and look forward to the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for taking better care of you and for listening to another episode of Self-Care Prescriptions. Stay connected and tuned up with Dr. Robin Gobin. Visit robingobin.com or follow us on all platforms at Dr. Robin Gobin. Stay healthy and stay balanced with Self-Care Prescriptions.